Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Peachy. You?
Fucking dandy.
I think we're both kind of in a similar boat of being kind of an emotional hot mess right now.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Um, so originally I was going to do the story of Dead in the Water, Forever Awake, which is the multiple men who have gone missing in various bodies of water throughout the Midwest. However, it has become a very deep hole to dive into.
See, and that's the one thing, because I know when we started this, you had made mention that you really didn't get into true crime. And now you see the rabbit hole that you can go down when you're doing a true crime
Yeah.
that leads to multiple parts.
Well, and part of the problem is that very early in it, it starts with the victims. I've already got 13. Each one of these pieces of paper is a victim with little tidbits of their case. Um, and so, yeah, I actually have to look up by university to figure out which body of water they were in.
Yeah, gotcha.
So,
So, what have you been up to? Anything fun, exciting?
um, not exciting. No, no,
Um,
no fun and exciting.
let's
I
see.
went and saw my husband today. That's it. Other than that, I've been watering the plants a lot.
Hey, that's good grounding.
I know, and I do it without my shoes as much as I possibly can. And tomorrow I plan to mow the little section that is like super green and lush and all of that. So,
Any grounding is good grounding. About the most exciting thing, um, I have an undercut
mhm.
and I got that touched up. Um, and she usually puts a design in there. And right now I've got like a heartbeat
Okay.
type thing. I didn't know what else to do. I've done all the crisscross lines and the ones that go this way and this way. And I'm like, I've done all them. And she keeps saying she's going to get like the little pen to do the decorations, and she hasn't done it yet. I honestly think I'm the only one that goes to her on a regular basis.
Mm,
So I just get basic shit, I guess. But she's good at it. She does a great job. That's why I keep going back.
yeah. And I can understand the need for an undercut on some people. If I got an undercut, I'd be bald. Um,
Listen,
so
I'm not that far. And then I've always wanted to be able to wear headbands, but I have an issue because it may not look like it, but I have a child size head. Like these are huge on me because they're regular adult size headphones. It's crazy. Um, before ear pods or these were a thing, and you had like the Walkman headphones,
mm-hmm.
I had to get child size
Jeepers.
because adult size are too big. So I've always had issues like when I wear a headband, um, it doesn't want to stay in
Hmm.
because you get the kid ones. I gotta have fucking Elsa on my head. So I saw this really cool hack for getting them in your hair and having them stay, where you basically do like a couple partials in your hair, and then you do one, and then you put the headband on, and then you put the two small ones, and then you bring the rest of it down. It's hard to explain. I could show you, but I can't do it because I've got the undercut.
So if I'm understanding it correctly, basically like you put two mini ponytails in and sandwich the band between it.
Kind of, yeah. Um, okay, like you put your hair like in a partial or clip the top part, and then you've got like, okay, then you got your chunk of hair down here, and then you take half of that and put it to the side, put your headband on, and then take that one and tie it to the one in the back. So you got a ponytail holder, but the headband is in the ponytail.
Oh,
And
okay.
then you
Okay.
bring the rest of it down. But because I have the undercut, and I've had it going on 3 years now, like I've had it for quite a while.
Hmm.
I don't know why. Just one day I was like, you know what? I want to do something that's, I either got, and this is something you got, I have to maintain it
Hmm.
because at work I wear my hair up in a clip pretty much every day. So if it starts growing out, it looks pretty fucking stupid. So you have to go back very regularly. And sometimes I don't realize how long it's been until I like wash it and go, oh my God, it's so long. When in reality, it's only probably that long,
Oh goodness.
but it's long
Yeah, I know what you mean.
because she uses a two. So yeah, it's, that's my, I guess that's my rant for now, anyway. I mean, look, the night is young.
So many options available yet.
Mm, so fucking many. Um, I'm still stuck on Nerds gummy clusters.
Nice, nice.
They,
I'm still using my Vanilla Skull chapstick.
I would like the Nerds company, which I think is Mars.
I
I don't
think
know.
so.
Sponsor us, please.
I think it's Mars or Nestle. Yeah, my son loves those too. So okay, so in lieu of doing the original story I was going to do, I did a list of the top 10 haunted locations in the US. And if we did this, I am sorry. Um, my thinking is that we've only done by state, and not by country. So,
Yeah, see, I don't know. And I honestly, I think different sources is going to have different
yeah, and that is totally a thing. I've noticed that.
because
So,
like, okay, if I look up most haunted um locations in Michigan, like I've got a book over there that lists like certain ones.
mhm.
I'm going to use the Dice Road Cemetery because it's very big and it's not far from where I'm at. Um, but then you see some like I don't know, BuzzFeed, or I don't know, one of those that Ranker or something. It's not on there, but it's a
Mhm.
very haunted location. So
I did not go to BuzzFeed. Nope. Instead, I went to Travel and Leisure. I thought that would be an interesting source. Um, so for the lowest on the list, we have the Whaley House and Museum. It's actually in San Diego, California. A man named Yankee Jim or James Robinson was hung for larceny However, a few years later, the Whaleys decided that they were going to build their forever home on the location.
I just, this sounds familiar and I'm not sure why.
Well, I mean, oh, there's a few that are going to sound familiar, because
I mean, and yeah, I'm sure some of them's been covered, but I don't think I've covered that one, but maybe, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, this one I'm not sure of. Like, it sounds familiar, but at the same time, I'm not 100%. Because it also sounds like that one case that was on that show that we watched with the different groups that go to the haunted locations and like they have to stay there for the week, I think was what it was. And one of the psychics were bowing out at one of the locations. I believe it was a tobacco plantation guy who killed his family and then killed himself.
Oh, the Lawson family.
Maybe. This one kind of sounds like that.
Well, I think the Whaley, because I know there's a Whaley house here in Michigan too. Go ahead. I was gonna say
Okay.
eat my candy.
So the Whaleys built their forever home, on the site. And it didn't take long for Yankee Jim's ghost to show up. And his footsteps can be heard stomping throughout the house. But don't worry, he's not haunting the location alone. The Whaleys are also haunting it, and a young girl. And apparently there's even a family dog that haunts the location. So, and apparently that one is available for tour.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty cool. This one I never heard of. The House of Death. Does that sound familiar to you? It's in New York City.
H.H.
Okay.
Holmes.
No, ironically though, I did hear or did listen to a story of that on my drive today. Bailey Sarian.
Oh,
Yeah. So this one was taking place around the 1900s. There is a brownstone on West 10th Street. Now, this is apparently a very popular and affluent area for, the up and coming and all of that. So this is like the what to do neighborhood. Um, except this house. This is the one house nobody wants. It's like that dark, creepy house on the end of the road. Yeah, that's this one. It is said to be haunted by the ghosts of 22 people.
good
Yeah,
God.
yeah. These people either lived or died within the walls. Um, including that of a 6-year-old girl who was killed by her adoptive father. Um, apparently, author Mark Twain stayed there at some point in the early 1900s, and his spirit is said to occasionally return. So I'm not entirely sure why I mean, it's a beautiful location. Don't get me wrong. And I will try to pop up pictures when they post this. But other than that, like, I don't understand why, like, people who have died elsewhere would be coming back to this place. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe if it was something important to him,
Maybe. I don't know. Didn't really seem like it. Just thought
because
it was kind of interesting
remember
to
when I
know.
did, um, remember when I did the Hollywood Roosevelt?
Mm-hmm.
And Marilyn Monroe haunts the one room there.
Okay. Yep.
That's not where she died.
True. True.
So, but it played an important role. So,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, I got a little message that my internet is unstable. I mean, hey, now we're all unstable. It's a threesome. So,
Oh, yeah. I love it. So our next one is actually one that I have on my bucket list. I know some people are like, yeah, but for me, it's like an awesome location that I would love to just go play in. Um, Also because I've been to House on the Rock, which is here in Wisconsin, and I'd love to just go play, which is the Winchester Mystery House.
see, that one does nothing for me.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like I want to go. I want to open all the doors.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that one. That one, just for whatever reason, does not hold my interest.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I am fascinated with the place.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't know. I mean, would it be cool to go there? Maybe.
The grounds are like be exceptionally beautiful.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that's like for me, it's not on my bucket list.
Yeah, that is on mine. Although Alcatraz is also on my bucket list. So, and mind you, this is like my haunted location bucket list. This isn't like my all-time life bucket list.
Yeah,
So, I'm sure all the listeners already know the story of the Winchester Mystery House. So I'm just going to say that it's in San Jose, California, and that Sarah Winchester died in 1922. And she is reported to also haunt the location. It is a Victorian mansion. There is 10,000 windows. So glad I don't have to clean them. 2,000 doors, 47 fireplaces, 40 staircases, 13 bathrooms, and 9 kitchens.
I
That
just
is a
want a
house,
house with two bathrooms.
right? I mean, multiple families could live in this house and never see each other.
Exactly.
Like, that's the perfect house. Uh, and then if you're tired of somebody, just send them to the doors that go nowhere.
Where?
Send them to the doors that go nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the door that goes to the room that has no floor. Although they do have things there to catch a person if they were to fall. Or the door that opens to walls, or the door that opens to a set of 3 steps that goes to a floor. Sorry, yes, I've seen a lot of videos about the place. And so then that brings us to a bed and breakfast, the Lizzie Borden house.
That would be my bucket list.
It's on my mom's as well.
I
Um,
I would definitely love to go there.
yeah, maybe someday we can plan a road trip and we can scoop you up and we can all go. That would be super awesome.
I'm not gonna say no.
So this one is in Fall River, Massachusetts, taking place around 1892. Um, Abby and Andrew Borden were found dead, killed by an axe-wielding psychopath. The number one suspect, the daughter, Lizzie. She stood trial, but was acquitted. But unfortunately, she spent the rest of her life under the shadow of guilt.
Do you think she's guilty?
Honestly, you know what? If she is, it's not for me to be like, you know what, you were wrong, because it was a different time. You know, kids were not treated well. You were a piece of property. And if she was being mistreated, like highly mistreated, like most people were back then, and kind of like for a bit, hey, oops.
I don't think she did it.
I don't know.
I really don't. And I could be wrong. I,
I
but
think that there is the possibility that she didn't.
yeah.
I will say that because,
Now,
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, you first.
Finish your thought.
Dang it, Joe. Um, well, no, that also ties in with like the next location. Um, and I'm sure you can guess what it is, but
Salem,
huh?
Salem.
No. Okay, so you don't know the next location. But I'm sure
Is
once I
it
say it,
the
you'll know.
Vascilla or Vasilla or
Yep, Velisca.
Velisca? Well, I don't. Now look, I've said it 100 million times, but one, I'm very high on nerds right now.
Are you sure it's nerds?
Yes, unfortunately, it's just nerds. And mm, well, and like I told you before we started, I might be a little manic right now.
I understand.
It's fine. It's fine. Um, have you ever watched the Dead Files episode on the Lizzie Borden house?
I believe so.
If you haven't watched it, that's one of them. Like I've seen a lot of them, a lot of them, a lot of them. But that
Hmm.
is one for whatever reason, just it sticks out to me. That
Yeah.
episode. Um,
And like the next location that I have to talk about, there is a group that went to the location and like tested it to the Lizzie Borden house. And yeah, so that's why I kind of believe that there is that possibility that, it wasn't her. So anyway, she haunts the location, Lizzie. She haunts the bed and breakfast. She can be heard laughing like upstairs. However, I don't think I could live with this next thing that happens, which is the maid's horrifying scream that she did when she found the bodies of the people. And it just continues to echo through time. That I don't think I could live with.
that
Be doing something and then just suddenly hearing that scream. No.
unless it was the same time every day, then like, hey, look, I'm gonna go outside and have a cigarette real quick,
I'm not gonna be holding plates, cups.
taking a drink.
Right. I mean, yeah, no, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because, yeah, if it's at random times, no, I would have nothing. I wouldn't be able to eat anything. I wouldn't be able to have plates to put anything on.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I
Paper
couldn't do it.
plates.
Yep. Oh, plastic cups, all of that. Make sure they bounce. Never keep more than a half a cup full.
Oh my God,
Um,
could you imagine drinking a squeeze it when that went off?
yeah. I definitely would not stay sane in that house.
Mm-mm.
So yeah. With that, we'll go on to the next one, which is the Villisca Axe Murder House. Um, and I do know a fair bit of this story as well. It is in Villisca, Iowa, took place in 1912, where an entire family and the children of family friends were murdered by an unknown axed assailant. The axe was left behind. Everyone within the home was found murdered. The doors were locked from the inside, and nobody knows what happened.
Yeah, that's actually another one I would go to. Yeah, I would go to that one.
That one, and the you gotta know the one I'm thinking with Josh, Melbourne Manor.
Oh, yeah,
I think that one would be neat because there was so many trigger objects left behind. You know what I mean?
I've never seen anything on it.
Really, it's
Well,
interesting.
well, I mean, you know my feelings on that.
Yeah. The location, though, is an interesting location. It was actually a wayward home for the mentally criminally unstable. So yeah. And then it just got closed down and everybody just got told they had to leave. And so a lot of stuff was left behind.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's actually happened with, and I don't mean to keep derailing, but like I said, um, when I went to work for a group home, um, and I cannot think of the name of the book now. I After hearing about it in the class, I
Mhm.
bought the book and read it. It's about an asylum or a sanitary something that closed down that had mental patients. And it was something like the suitcase in the attic or some shit. And it was like all the stuff that belonged to the residents and like it just documented their lives in
Mhm.
there. And it's one of the saddest things I've ever read.
Is that part of the Flowers in the Attic trilogy?
It's a real story, it's not fiction.
Okay.
Um,
It
Let me
just
see.
it sounds like it would be part of that trilogy because I mean that's like right along the same story. So that's crazy. Are you
Um,
looking it up?
yeah, I'm.
Okay, while you're looking, I'm gonna talk about the
Oh,
next location.
I found it. I found
Oh,
it. Look,
okay.
it's called "The Lives They Left Behind: Suitcases from a State Hospital Attic."
Okay.
More than 400 abandoned suitcases filled with patients' belongings were found when the Willard Psychiatric Center closed in 1995 after 125 years in operation.
So out of curiosity, are the suitcases the belongings of the people who had passed away that was never claimed?
I don't remember. I don't remember details. This was, oh my God, like 2009 when I took these classes. So it's been a while since I've read it. And of course, I've read like hundreds of things since then.
No, only
Um,
thousands.
I mean, that very well could be. I mean, I'm sure some of them passed away, um, when it was closed, if some of them went somewhere else, but all these suitcases were forgotten in the attic. And
That's really sad.
yeah, it's yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Okay, note to self, don't read that book.
Yeah. And I'll
Um,
stop interrupting you. I'm so
it's quite all right. We're talking haunted locations. It's fine because talking haunted locations is fun.
yeah, it's our it's how we met.
It it's the jelly to our peanut butter, or the peanut butter to our jelly, whichever way. The next location, the Bell Witch Cave in Adams, Tennessee. This is another one that originally takes place in the 1800s. John Bell bought land along the Tennessee River. Him and his family stayed on the property, perfectly content and fine, just going about their daily lives, doing their chores, until they saw a dog with a rabbit head. Just a little odd. Um, they would see other things, but like this was the big thing that kind of like flipped the switch in them, I guess. Um, so they were continuously assaulted by unseen forces. Things would fly at them, voices, knocks, bangs, stomps, doors, the whole gambit. At one point, John Bell and one of his daughters, um, they were like the primary targets of the attacks of these incidents. The others would have it as well, just not to the extent. So the entity had apparently named itself as Kate Batts, who happened to be an ex-neighbor. It said that this Kate was still pissed beyond the grave about some spat that they had had, and she followed him and tormented the ever-living hell out of him. So, proof, nothing like a woman scorned.
Or Petty never dies.
There we go. Petty never dies. I do like that. So the next location we have, which might be a surprise for some people, however, not all that unexpected. The White House. Some people know about it, some people don't. Apparently, back in the day, Ronald Reagan would have parties and he would regale his guests with stories of encounters, or like how his dog would be barking at nothing, or the children would see things, or orbs and apparitions, the whole shebang. Exceptionally prominent heads of state had reportedly witnessed Lincoln in various rooms, walking halls, looking out a window, things like that. And yeah, I don't know that there is actually a written documentation of the first president who saw the first presidential ghost, I guess. But it kind of goes all the way back, to the first one, or rather, I should say maybe the third or fourth, but it's been going on forever. All kinds of weird shit happens in the White House. Lots of fun.
Yeah.
Um, so then, oh, and I mistook my comment earlier how the one location, which is the Villisca Axe Murder House, was not connected to um not the Lizzie Borden house. Okay. It's connected to the Sally house. My bad. Um, so Sally House, Atchison, Kansas, in the early 1990s. I'm gonna be that person and be like, in the 1900s. That still pisses me off. I'm not that old, damn it. Um, so it's believed that the person who committed the murders at the Velisca house also was at the Sally house, and that the Sally spirit can also go to the Velisca house. And that's actually been documented by various investigators. Um, so it Deborah and Tony Pickman had bought the house and experienced things from the jump as soon as they got there. They would experience flickering lights, apparitions, possessions, unexplained voices. They would have strange scratches all over them, various different kinds of marks, whether it was bites or just like random, like, one scratch mark or something like that, instead of like three or four, that like are long, but instead just like a little flick of one.
Mhm.
There would be burns, all kinds of stuff, basically. And it was all apparently due to a young girl named Sally. So, and I don't know that any of her story was actually ever confirmed.
Yeah, I know I've heard of it. I don't remember details of that, but I know I've listened to a podcast on Sally House. And I don't know why I get that confused with the Jenny Wade house.
See, and like any of the ones that I've ever seen on the Sally House, they always talk about, the experiences that the people have had, whether it's the owners or investigators coming into it, what have you. And they always attribute it to Sally. Um, and I've heard in various, ones that it really is a little girl. I've heard other ones say that it is not, and that it is in fact a darker energy than a little girl, and that, it's mimicking. And then that's, another one is that it's some kind of a mimic type of thing. Um, so yeah, but I've never actually heard anyone say, okay, yes, there was a little girl named Sally who lived here. This is when she lived here. You know what I mean? Like I've never seen or heard that.
I don't think I have either when it comes to that.
And that's something like I have a tendency to listen, for that kind of stuff because I'm always curious about it. So yeah. But anyway, we shall move on. And
Huh?
this one could be fun. However, this one is a private residence and cannot be investigated. I think this is actually the only one on the list that can't be, which is Franklin Castle. And it was deemed the most haunted in Ohio. And it is in Cleveland, originally taking place in the 1800s, which is when it was built by Hans Tiedemann. Nope, Tiedemann. Yep, Tiedemann, Tiedemann. He definitely Tiedemann. Um, this poor guy. He tried so hard to have a large family, the perfect life, have it all, have the home. Unfortunately, once he had the home, it started going downhill. There was a string of Tiedemann was known around town to be cruel and abusive. And once he got kind of known as that, this odd string of deaths started happening within his home
Hmm.
and the people within his family. Um, his one daughter, Emma, died from diabetic complications. Not really necessarily yes or no. There's possibility for fakeness there. And then his mother died. It did not say why she died. However, three more of his children died around the same time his mother did. And then so at this point, four of his children and his mom have passed away. Now his wife dies. And it said that she died from liver disease.
She a drinker?
Apparently, she had drinking. She had drinking. So it was all like everyone died from some type of medical related, thing. Not anything that can directly say, yes, it was him, and anything that can directly say, no, it wasn't. And then his mistress also passed away.
Hmm.
So at this point, quite literally, everybody he is associated with is dead. But he died before his mistress passed away. When his wife died, he was like, "This, I'm out. Everybody's dead. I'm gone." And it didn't say when he actually passes away. Just that he left after she had died. And unfortunately, the castle has kind of been passed from person to person since. Not really staying in like a family lineage or anything like that. Beautiful location. Huge. I mean, obviously it's a castle. So yeah, very castle-esque and
Now,
gorgeous.
have the strange deaths continued with other
Um,
owners?
it doesn't say, but if I'm remembering correctly, I did see an episode about it on some weird YouTube thing. The man who owns it, um, frequently talks to the owner, and like they have a nice, exchange, copacetic type, relationship. So apparently he doesn't have any issues with any of the ghosts. And then we have the last location, which is the Biltmore. Now this is hoity-toity to the max. This is a location you and I can only ever dream about. It is the most haunted in North Carolina. Beautiful, gorgeous estate in Asheville. George Vanderbilt built this in the 1800s as a vacation home. A vacation home. Like, really? Your vacation home is like my dream forever, lifetime, eons worth of home. Because it's a huge sprawling estate, like they have the horse barn, and the dog barn, and all that kind of stuff, where you have to have 800 staff to run it even when you're not there.
Right.
um so as the former owner of this home, he's very active. When he passed away, oh, I forgot to write it. I don't remember. I want to say it was like 1860 something. He passed away and left it to his children. Um, his children decided that they were going to open it up to the public. Apparently, he was unhappy with that.
Hmm.
And so he has haunted the location since.
Oh.
Yeah,
You know what? I think he was gonna anyway. He just needed a reason.
right. He was just trying to be extra.
Mhm.
Um, let's see it. He makes his presence very well known. He's been seen, he's been heard, the whole shebang. He hanging out. Like, hey roomie, what's up? So yeah, that is my list.
Interesting. Yeah, I think the number one I'd want to go to would be the Lizzie Borden house.
I would say the Winchester is my number one. However, going to any of the locations would be freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
But like the Sally house, the Velisca house, all of them.
Now I want to go to the Jenny Wade house. And that's one of the reasons every year Roy and I talk about, well, let's go to Gettysburg for our anniversary. And every year it does not work out. And that's one of my destinations when I get there, is I want to go to the Jenny Wade house.
I can understand.
Yeah. So any recommendations?
Mm,
I think it's been a
hmm.
little bit. I think we've been forgetting about it.
Um, there was a thing. There was a thing. Shoot. There was a thing I was watching on Netflix. It was a good thing. Yep.
See,
Lost and gone forever.
now my recommendation is not for everybody. Um, but if you like spicy books,
Oh, Spicy Bun.
yeah. Oh God, what the fuck is the name of it?
Did you land on Spicy Book Talk?
Oh, I read spicy books all the time. Like,
But have you landed on Spicy Book Talk? Or rather, I shouldn't say it's Spicy Book Talk. It's just Book Talk.
yes and no. There's like the guy that's a singer that also does like the voice thing. I think I've sent you a couple of his things. He is like so adorable, and his voice does not match his face, but the voice. This is Haunting Adeline.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
Nope.
Spicy.
Spicy. Okay.
There's so I'm not.
One
I'm
to five, what's the spice rating?
okay. So far, I'm on chapter 23, and this is book one of two.
Okay. Okay.
And 1 to 5, I'm gonna say it's a 7.
Ooh, okay. So it's
Yeah,
extra spicy.
yeah. Um, kind of makes 50 Shades look like a Dick and Jane book.
Not gonna lie. Didn't read those. Not a one. Didn't watch any of the movies.
I didn't watch the movies, and I'll explain why. When I read the books, there was one because when you read a book, you picture the characters,
Hmm.
and the person I pictured, I was excited when they got the part,
Hmm.
and then they had to back out due to scheduling issues.
Aw.
And then I was like, I will never watch one. And I have not watched them because Charlie Hunnam.
Who?
Oh God. You don't know who Charlie Hunnam is?
Hamna, no.
Ma'am.
You forget, I don't know anybody's name for anything. You got to give me context. You can't just give me a name. Oh, okay. Sons of Anarchy. See,
Yeah,
that you could have just said him and then Sons of Anarchy, the son.
yeah. That's the entire time I read the books. That is who I pictured as Christian Grey. The entire time. And at one point, I even posted before they ever even talked about making a movie. If this ever gets made into a movie, this needs to be Charlie Hunnam's role. That's it. And then he got the role, and I was excited. And then, like a month later, he dropped out.
That's so sad. I'm
Mhm. Very disappointing.
sorry.
But I read the 3 books, and then they released all 3 books from Christian's point of view. And I read the
Okay.
first, and I did read the first one, and I was like, eh.
I can't do the books that are from, different people's perspective. I can't. I'm sorry. I've read books actually that in the one book, it is multiple people's perspective. Like
Mm.
each chapter is a different person's perspective. Drives me bonkers.
Now, that if it's just 2 people, that's fine. But when you start getting into multiple people, no. But because the 50 Shades books were written from Anna's perspective. And
Hmm.
then she came out with the books that were written from Christian's perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me, why? Should have left it as it was.
I don't think those were as big as what she thought they would be,
Yeah,
but that's because, Charlie Hunnam didn't play Christian. So,
that was clearly the answer.
and for all I know, the guy that did it, I think Jamie Dornan, something. I don't know. Don't care.
A blonde guy?
No, he's got brown hair.
Oh, that should tell you everything.
Um, he may be a wonderful actor. Don't care.
You'll never know.
Nope. The only thing I know is there is an author. In fact, she's been my recommendation because she wrote multiple books.
Okay.
And it was like when we first started doing the whole recommendation thing, she was one of the
Mhm.
first ones. It was Geneva Rose.
Okay, I remember.
Um, she has a TikTok, and her husband will watch a movie, and then she'll pause it, and her husband reacts to it, to whatever scene. And she did it with the Twilight movies,
Oh, jeez.
which I have never seen a Twilight movie, and I am not ashamed of that. You will not make me feel bad for not watching it.
I won't. I won't.
I read,
However, I have seen them,
I'm
all
sorry.
of them, and I've read all of the books.
Now I read the first. No, okay. My sister-in-law and I had, well, until this, had very, very similar taste in
Hmm.
books.
Hmm.
And she is a big book, like she had totes and totes and totes of books.
I know the feeling.
So she had called me and she was like, have you ever read any of this, again before the movies come out? Have you ever read any of the Twilight books? I'm like, no, what the fuck is that? And she's telling me, and I'm like, I mean, it sounds interesting.
Hmm.
And I am a fast reader. Like if obviously with an audiobook, I have to go in there by their pace because
Right.
but when I read a book, I'm a very fast reader.
Hmm.
Um It took me, I'm going to say 3 weeks to get through the first book.
That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit.
And then I got done with that one. I went to my little sister-in-law library and I returned that book and checked out book 2. I got 100 pages in and I'm like, I'm done. I can't do it. Can't do it. And I know 50 Shades is Twilight fan fiction. I know that. Don't care. I could not, for the life of me, get through the second book.
Fair. For me, the second wasn't as good as the first.
I mean, I didn't like any of them. I couldn't stand the character of Bella.
I had to warm up to her.
No, there was no warming up. I would warm her up in a microwave.
However, yeah, there were several other characters I wanted to hurt like a lot initially. So yeah,
I
but
would
no,
just throw garlic at all of them. I don't even care. Those, and I know there's a lot of people that love them, blah blah blah. And they're probably the same people who listen to Taylor Swift. But
I do not listen to Taylor Swift. Thank you very much.
I mean, she's not
That was
horrible.
rude.
I mean, I'd rather look. We could get into a whole music discussion. She's not my favorite, but there's way worse out there. Way worse.
Agreed. My sister-in-law and my niece love Taylor Swift, and if I'm not mistaken, tickets. Still marked safe from the Taylor Swift concert.
Same. Although I have the shirt now. No, sorry.
I'm sorry, of what?
Okay, remember like a month or so ago, like everyone's Facebook was just filled with Matt Rife bullshit.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I love him.
Mm-hmm.
I love him.
He's hilarious.
And he's got a couple of Michigan shows coming up. And
Cool.
the tickets went on sale back in June and sold out in no time. I didn't. But I have a shirt.
You just totally deflated me.
Oh, girl, everybody on the planet would know if I got Matt Rife tickets. Everybody
I was
would.
gonna be like, girl, you gotta take a sign. Because if you take a sign, you're gonna get spotted.
Oh God,
And
yeah.
he's gonna fuck with you, and you are the perfect one to fuck with him
Right.
back.
I would. I totally would.
And those are the best shows.
I have a shirt though. And again, this came from one of my recommendations who has made me very sad.
Uh-oh.
But my friend Brittany that does the cups, the shirts, she's closing her business.
Aw.
I didn't see any more of her posts, but because I woke up to the name change for her business and it's like it's got the dashes and it says closing. And she is like selling off all of her inventory and they're using it for fertility treatments. So it's for a good reason, but I'm so sad. But I've recently got a shirt from her that's got like a little skeleton hand and it says Matt Rife and the back says, I will trade my husband for Matt Rife tickets.
Yeah, you know what? He needs to see that.
I did get that shirt from her because it was right around the time that everybody was going nuts for the whole thing. And I looked up now, okay, when I looked up ticket prices, they were very expensive. And the only person, as much as I love Matt Rife, I would not pay those prices. The only person I would pay those prices, because we're talking, they were like in the hundreds of dollars. The only person I would pay that much for providing I had it in my bank account, would be Stevie Nicks.
Would be an awesome concert to see.
Now, if you get Stevie Nicks, but Matt Rife opens for her,
If we could throw in Disturbed,
I just got invited to their concert and I turned it down. Not because I don't like them. I love them. I just it's like, and I am probably in the minority, but I don't like the original song, but I don't like their remake of Sound of Silence. I am just batting 1,000 today, ain't I? I don't like it.
oh, I love it. Like that's one of his songs that just instantly calms me as soon as I turn it on.
I don't like the original.
I'm not a fan of the original. However, I like his remake.
No. There's a lot of remakes I don't like that everyone's like, what? You don't like that? I don't like their Land of Confusion remake either.
Okay, that's fair.
And I know
Falling in Reverse is new. I posted it. Falling in Reverse. They did the cover. Oh Jesus Christ. Why it's gone. Don't ask me the name of it.
no, I believe I think it's Seether. I'm pretty sure it's Seether that remade Careless Whisper.
That I'm not
And
sure.
I hate it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Seether remade it and I hate it. Hate it. I am probably on so many people's shit list now.
You're on mine now. Turn down Disturbed tickets. Jeez.
And it's not because I don't like them.
Crazy lady.
I love them.
And
I,
yet you turn them down?
well, one, it's the company. But
Okay.
and I
Fair.
also don't know who they're with.
Mm,
Well, it's not that I don't know who they are. I just don't know if who they're touring with. So
gotcha. Like who's gonna be opening and all that kind of fun stuff.
yeah, or
Gotcha.
even where it's at.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm probably on a few shit lists now. That's
Oh man.
okay.
I
That's all
figured
right.
this out.
I'm used to it. So but yeah, I don't like that any of those remakes. That's fine.
Yeah, he actually did have a band for a little while that specifically did the remakes. It was basically the same band, just only doing remakes. I
Like
forget what the name of it was. Oh, when was this? Would have been 2013, 2014, around that time, 2012 to 2014.
who did what?
Disturbed.
Oh,
David Draymond. He had another band where he only did covers.
oh.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard his son's name?
No.
And again, I remember when he had his son, I shared the post um but his son's got the coolest fucking name. Let me find it. Is it not in here? Mm. Samuel Bear Izamu Draymond. Is that not the best fucking name?
That's definitely different. I don't know how I feel about it though.
Yeah, it's something.
Mm-hmm. It
So
is. Would you like
yeah,
to know a fun fact?
sure.
I signed up for a weight loss challenge thing.
Oh, okay.
And I finally got weighed since the last time I went to the doctor. Which unfortunately was very high the last time I went to the doctor. And so I started, working on what I was eating and everything at the beginning of this year. And I have lost almost 70 pounds.
Nice.
Yeah,
Congratulations. That's a huge feat.
it is. Thank you. Um, I do want to get down a lot more. But yeah, I'm kind of proud of that. That was a lot that I didn't even realize I was carrying. So,
That's cool. See, I would like to lose weight.
I've done really good. I really have until today. I broke down and bought a bag of Laffy Taffies from Dollar General, and I ate them all, and they were delicious.
This is like my fourth bag in the last week.
To be fair, it was my first bag in quite some time, but my first like real candy, in a good while. And don't hate me for this, but I got to try chocolate cake today for the first time, like a store-bought chocolate cake, um, in a very long time. And it was disgusting.
I
I
mean,
was
I
like,
guess
oh
it
my
would.
God, what happened to me?
I mean, I guess it would depend on what store.
Just a Walmart triple chocolate cake.
Oh, like from their bakery.
Hmm.
Okay, so what you do when you go to the bakery is
You turn around and go the other way.
no. Okay, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Walmart's bakery is one of my favorites. Like their donuts.
My mom, my mom buys a lot of the donuts. To be fair, that's usually where I get Marcelo's birthday cakes. Um, Occasionally I would get him cookies in there. Beyond that, no, like I don't go into that area. I'm usually over by the fruit.
Which at
Um,
my Walmart is right by the bakery.
it is, but like I don't go into that side. I don't know why.
Now, I will say, other than my nerds, when I would go to Walmart like every Sunday, I would stop at the bakery and I would buy. I would usually try for the 6 count, like the half dozen of donuts, but their cinnamon rolls are amazing, and their like the chocolate dip donuts, amazing. Or they have okay, they've got like their bakery cookies, and then they've got their decadent bakery cookies.
Ooh,
Um, like in the regular, I think there's 8 cookies and they're smaller. The decadent, there's 6 and they're bigger.
okay.
Now the peanut butter with chocolate chunks.
You were telling me about these cookies. I remember now.
if I could marry food, that'd be
That'd
one
be
of
what it
them.
was.
Oh, they're amazing. But if you want a good chocolate cake, we're going back to this. I haven't forgotten. You go to where they have the cupcakes, not like the cakes on the table. They're fine, but you go
No, I
to,
usually go to the like cold case display.
yeah, and they have like where you just get like the pieces of cake.
Mm-hmm.
They have a chocolate one. Or if you're not really a cake person, but you like a little bit of cake, they have like I don't know, years ago, Kentucky Fried Chicken used to have like parfaits,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
and these are kind of like those, but on crack. They're so good. In fact, when I have the oldest grandkid with me, and I go to Walmart and tell him you can go ahead and pick out the snack for the week. That's what he goes for because they have like the individual size, and then they
Mm-hmm.
have the big family size.
Oh,
But I will say for the last 2 months, the only time I go to that area is either for the grandkids snack or because they have those the decadent cookies in oatmeal raisin, and Roy likes those.
mm,
That's the only thing I have went to the bakery for. I don't buy none of like the snack cakes, nothing. This has been it, and honestly, I have more right now because the other day Roy went to Walmart, and when I had a Zoom thing that I did last Saturday, and when I got off the Zoom, he had 4 of these sitting on the table. Great
mm.
surprise, but now I got to eat them because I can't let them go to waste.
Of course not.
Uh-uh.
And that's
So,
funny.
you know, I
Yeah, my big food thing, I think, and then we'll let the people go. I brought home a giant zucchini. It is this big and this big around.
mm, how did you
And
make
I'm
it?
excited.
Oh, you haven't
Um,
made it yet?
nope, it hasn't been made yet. I just brought it home last night. And so my mother-in-law looked at it. She said, "Well, we're gonna have to hollow it out." She's like, "But we could make zucchini boats." So I'm excited for what that's gonna bring.
Um, I've been like watching different recipes and I've got a couple saved. Are they the healthiest? No. Um, but I also like tonight because Roy's got to get up. He's got an appointment early in the morning. So he was already in bed when I got home. Um, so I had to do fast food because I didn't want to come home and make a lot of noise making something. Um, and I don't really like doing that. So I like to find recipes, something that's easy to make and that would be good warmed up.
Hmm.
So if I have to make it before work, it's going to be good warmed up when I get home. And I have found a couple things. One of the people I follow on TikTok, that Mississippi Queen,
I don't think I follow that one yet.
um, she's the one that like she starts every video where she slams something. She's like, let's make whatever.
That's not the What's Up Buttercup lady, right?
No, and you know
With
what?
the unicorn.
I've watched a few of hers, and a couple of them are funny, but then it's just excessive.
Fair, fair. And lately, it's getting on my nerves.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
'Cause-
them that do. They start out where it's like, okay, haha, that's funny. And then you're like, okay, now it's old.
Yeah, it's
Like
like,
I
okay,
did,
you can bring your tone of voice down to a normal level now. You don't need to
yeah,
scream at the camera.
yeah, and it's the
Mm,
same thing, and And there's a couple of like the cooking ones that I follow. Well, Mississippi Queen for good recipes and Woodfire and Whiskey because the guy is hot.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. I have a question. Do you ever come across the TikToks where people are smacking the screen, telling people to stop doing whatever the heck it is?
I instantly scroll.
Same. I hate those damn videos.
Yep.
For anybody who has ever been smacked unexpectedly by someone, it's instantly triggering.
Yeah.
Like, people, stop smacking your phones.
Yeah. That's annoying. And there's a few different things that annoy me where it's instant scroll if I see it.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, should we shut this down and let the people go?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to y'all later.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.